Mom, I saw Dylan's dad make dinner. Like, actually cook, and it was straight fire. He said it was Blue Apron Assemble and Bake. All the ingredients showed up pre-chopped, and he just laid it out on a baking sheet, and no cap. Dinner was on the table in like 25 minutes. Apparently, it's chef designed, and it has like over 40 grams of protein. That's a lot, right? So maybe we try it. Just saying. You can be the next Dylan's dad. Blue Apron. Get $50 off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code STIR50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
With that.
Third place in the league, Ed. Third place in the league. I mean, it's...
You know what? I keep having to tell myself we should not get excited about the race for fourth. We should not, because that's all about Arsenal, right? Chasing fourth place is about Arsenal. United should never be in this situation. Third is where it's at.
Exactly. You're chasing third. Now that's for the big boy clubs. And I mean, at any point during this season, from the second game onwards, we would have bitten your hands off for third place. So just before we started recording, we tracked United's league position over the course of the season. We were second after the first round of games because we beat Chelsea 4-0. Very important game vis-a-vis goal difference, turns out, by the end of the season. The second week we were down to fourth. We touched back into the top four in about the middle of September. By the middle of October, we were 14th in the league. 14th. And we didn't get back into the Champions League places until last week. So, well, this week, right? Until game week 37. Absolutely
crazy stuff.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's testament to how well United had done post-lockdown, and in fact, just before it as well, in terms of results. We've crept over the line. I mean, this is a marathon runner who's crawling over the line, basically, and we just had Leicester crawling after us. It's amazing stuff. I mean, they were shattered out there today. I mean, Bruno was dead. I mean, Ole took him off 20 minutes too late, I think, and it really could have hurt us. And we were fortunate that Leicester just didn't have enough in the tank, and we defended just about good enough to get over the line. And a couple of really poor errors by Johnny Evans helped us out.
Yes! Once a red, always a red. Once a red, always a red. Gave us the gift of a lovely penalty. Thank you, Johnny. I think he was maybe a little bit unlucky with that. It felt like he got his toe on the ball.
Foul. I mean, toe on the ball and cleaning out the man is always a foul. It's just 100% going to be given one. But Morgan, you slow it down frame by frame. Morgan's foot on Martial's shin happens before Evans' toe on the ball.
There you go.
So, but the ref called it differently and booked Evans when he really should have sent him off, being the last man.
I know.
Denial of a goal-scoring opportunity.
No double jeopardy. He made a legitimate challenge for the ball. The rules changed.
Shocking.
And anyway, it doesn't matter because he was like, no, you're right. The ref should have sent me off, and so I'm going to try and kill Scott McTominay, get myself sent off.
Anyway, let's talk about that first half, because there weren't half some squeaky bum moments in that first half.
I
did not like it when... I think United had two very specific problems, right? One was the one that Gary Neville got all condescending about, which was Leicester playing it, like forcing United to play it into the fullbacks by playing fairly narrow, okay. And normally you counter that just by playing a switch ball, which is always on against that system, and United were not able to get Pogba and Fernandes into the right positions to do that. But the worst one was when we had Maguire, Lindelof and Matic on the ball, and Leicester's only moments came from that. I mean, they'd lost their main creative force because Maddison was out. Which means that they had to push. They the Belgian lad whose name I've completely
Tielemans.
forgotten. Tielemans. I want to call him Dendoncker. Wrong Belgian lad. So Tielemans further forward than perhaps he might want to be, and he wasn't able to pick those passes. But I mean, my resting heart rate's normally sub 50. It was pushing 100 at times.
It's really, you sent us a little screenshot of your Apple Watch, which I think is that one of those screenshots with like, this is all of us. Well, it's not quite. The concept is all of us. The numbers might not be so much all of us because you've got an excellent resting heart rate, obviously. But the thing that I thought about that first half is we did not look gassed in the same way that we did in the FA Cup, and not in the same way, especially that we did against West Ham in midweek. We looked really nervy, really, really nervy. So yeah, you've identified the structural problem. I have no idea what Gary Neville said because I have taken to exclusively watching football on mute at this point.
Yeah, it's a good decision. Yeah, no, he just kept calling out the fact that the outball was always into United's fullbacks, which was correct, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. And it's not necessarily the fullbacks that had the problem there. It was the fact that Rashford and Greenwood needed to be 15 yards further up the pitch so United could play the ball in behind Leicester's defenders or play the switch ball. I mean, that was the outball, and United just couldn't do it, and it was just inviting pressure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is the kind of we know that's something that needs to happen in the system. Is the best way to counter the way United are playing at the moment is to try and force the ball into the fullbacks because they're the least potent of United's attacking threats. But still, you're likely to cough up dangerous situations if you do that because it's not risk free. But there wasn't the kind of fluidity that we've seen. But like I said, it didn't look so much like it was exhaustion. By the end of the game, by the end of his time on the pitch, Bruno looked shattered. But generally, I just thought they looked very nervous. And the thing I think that we would have identified as the biggest threat is United's centre-backs and central midfielders, not just Matic, Pogba too, of dawdling on the ball when they shouldn't in the back third of the pitch. And that happened numerous times. Pogba was loose with a couple of passes as well. That there was one kind of like a cross, really dangerous one.
Yeah, that was in the second half. Yeah, when he cut back and hit it across with his left foot. Yeah, that was. I mean, I thought he was okay today, Pogba. His passing was neat enough in midfield. Matic. I mean, I don't know whether it's tiredness or that new contract, but ever since he put ink to paper, he's not been good in these last few games.
I think he did a lot of good things as well in this game. Like he did do a number of very not good things, but
played a lovely ball through. It wasn't the penalty shout, was it? It was the one.
No, that was Bruno.
Right. So it was the one before that Martial almost got onto and just couldn't get a shot away in time. No, he did some good things too. It just terrifies me. I mean, Lindelof, Maguire are supposed to be ball-playing centre-backs. They don't seem to be able to pick the ball through. And I don't know whether it's Pogba and Fernandez's position. He's not giving them the options. Something's a problem there. And Matic does need time on the ball. He's a beautiful passer when he's got that time. Right now, he's more effective further forward than he is in sort of defensive positions, and that's a long-term issue because United are not going to solve the problem at centre-back, the problem in goal, the problem in defensive midfield, another forward for depth and a left-back this summer. No chance, no way, never going to happen. A really good summer would be 3 of those. Summer, I say late summer, into autumn. So that's just not going to happen. So we're going to have that problem next season probably as well, and it's one of those things that tends to get found out. But today, just about enough. Yeah,
and how good was it at the end of this game? So the penalty happens. Everyone's so nervous. Everyone was so nervous all the way through. The players were nervous. Every supporter was nervous. I think we were all from like about somewhere between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Well, probably 3:20 would be about the latest it kicked in for anyone, I'm sure. Everyone would have been like jangly nerves all day. The first half didn't do anything to allay that nerves, especially since Chelsea made it 2-0 in quick fire time just at the back end of that half. So we go into half time, everything's on an absolute knife edge. The one thing we can say is that Leicester didn't exactly look at the races. They weren't like they were putting that pressure on the players they could put pressure on, but they weren't stringing 3 passes together either.
No, that's absolutely right. So, I mean, they had to win, remember? So you kind of expected after half-time when United were a little bit plodding in that first half for Leicester to really try and press on. And they did for about 5 minutes, but they couldn't sustain it. So this was United not fluid at all.
No.
Didn't really deserve to win the game. I mean, this was 1.4 XG, so 0.8 and 0.3 were the goals. So that's 0.3 of an XG actually created from actual creative play, football play from open play. I mean, which doesn't.
Because the Lingard goal was gifted. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know the post shot XG on that one. So, but it's going to have gone from 0.3 to 100 within a millisecond there. But anyway, it's this was the kind of performance we've seen. I mean, there's been different flavours of this against Southampton and Palace and West Ham and Chelsea in the semi-final, where it's just a lot of the same team playing week in, week out. As we spoke about in the last pod, Ole doesn't fully trust his squad and isn't using it. So he can't do this next season. He just won't be able to do that over a 50, 60 game season.
I think that you have to separate this game out from the rest of this run. I think actually in 2 ways you have to separate it out. 1, I don't think the same stamina issues were at play as they have been. And 2, there was just a completely different atmosphere to this game. There was a completely different level of pressure on it. This was the moment, and in the end, this is one where you go, the devil's in the detail. This is one where you get over the line, come what may, and
for sure, yeah. I mean, if it had taken Bruno picking the ball up with his hands and running it into the net, if he could have got away with it, then that would have done. Yes, absolutely. But some of the same flavour as we've had for the last, 2.5, 3 weeks was in there. But it was enough today, enough. And Jesse ruined that Manchester City fans' day. I can't remember how much he was due to make, but it was thousands, right?
Yeah.
His bet was no assists, no goals all season. And with like the last kick of the game, he's gifted one by Leicester. Amazing. It might be his last ever game for United in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It should be. Really, I mean, for him and the club, he needs to move on. But yeah, hilarious.
So Martial, I thought, was probably the best of a bad bunch. I thought he laboured a lot. There was one moment where Justin put in a legitimate tackle on him in the penalty area, and he had 2 or 3 players around him. And I thought, actually, if he was like fully at his best, he might have been able to explode away from those defenders. I mean, they were closing on it. It was difficult. I could be completely wrong about this, but it looked like his first thought was almost to play for the penalty rather than
he tried to cut across Justin. There was one in the first half, actually, where he didn't cut across Justin. I was shouting, cut across him! Because, it's how you win the penalty, right? Just go across your defender. Or if you don't win the penalty, you take them out of the game. And he did, but just didn't have that extra yard in order to get away from him. Trying to think of any other good chances for United in there.
Rashford had a shot from a wide angle.
Yeah. Rashford
shot.
got into a decent position and then got it stuck under his feet, didn't he? And spooned it over. Leicester hit the bar from Jamie Vardy from the corner.
Yeah.
That was. Dave tried to chuck one in his net, or at least palm it out to Vardy in the first half. It was just this. It's very specific. Dave's problem, right? It's not a screaming 40-yard in the top corner. He's gonna leap like a cat and tip that out. It's not even like crossed balls anymore. I mean, he just doesn't go for those, so he's not dropping any. It is the half-power dribbler shot where he's not focused. Yeah. That's the one that beats him. Absolutely. And it nearly beat him, and he was offside anyway, but he just gifted it to Jamie Vardy.
This is the thing. And in the end, it was fine. And like even that one that he kind of gifted in inverted commas to Jamie Vardy, he managed to had a little bit of verbals with Jamie Vardy, but he managed to get in the way, do what he needed to do. And so that was Leicester's kind of key opportunity. That was offside anyway, that one, by the way.
Yeah.
That was pulled back for offside. And then the penalty in the second half. So definitely a penalty. Bruno with an excellent ball through to Martial after having kind of done nothing more or less all game. And then, I mean, massive props to Bruno Fernandes for scoring a penalty under those circumstances. I mean, so much resting on it, so much pressure.
Scores.
Yeah, you just think
he went back to the hop, skip, and the jump.
Yeah, that's the second one in a row. Yeah, he dropped it and then he brought it back in the semi-final. That penalty right at the end of the semi-final. He did
it's mind games for the keepers. He's keeping them guessing.
Yeah,
20th penalty this season, which is an extraordinary amount, I have to say.
Every single one, bar like maybe one, completely legitimate as well. I think
that's fine. I mean, this is what the VAR is there for at the moment, to cross out the howlers. As we talked last time, I think United. I think referees would benefit greatly by having the monitor there that they can go look at, because it then lets them make the decision. VAR says you might want to look at this one, and even if that had been the case, I don't think the referees would have chalked off many of those 20 that United had got.
No, absolutely not. And it's a consequence of the way we play and the attacking players we've got. Like that's
very direct attacking players who like to run with the ball.
Yeah. And they're faster than all the defenders.
I mean, we didn't get 20 penalties in the whole of Mourinho's time with the club because we were barely ever in the box.
Exactly. I mean, he said United have been helped by the number of penalties. And it's like, no, the number of penalties have been helped by United. Like, you've got it the wrong way around, pal.
Mourinho could be back in the Europa, which is where he belongs, of course.
Dancing in joy and celebration for their qualification for the Europa League. Well done, he's 13.
It's not guaranteed, is it? Because if Arsenal, who finish behind them, win the FA Cup, they'll take that second Europa spot.
Really? Well, that'd be
so. Leicester have got one. And then the FA Cup finalists get one. Is there one more? There might be one more. I can't remember.
I refuse to learn.
Rightly so.
Someone else's problem for at least another 12 months. Because actually in this time in 12 months we'll probably be in the third Europa League qualifying round.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah. Having finished.
Anyway, we can talk a little bit about that later. But what else? What else should we say?
Jesse,
Martial, I agree, was okay. I mean, he tried. Greenwood quiet, couldn't get on the ball. Rashford very quiet, couldn't get on the ball in any kind of dangerous areas. Pogba and Bruno, I thought part of the problem was they're both too deep. They both in the second half they were passing to each other in their own half. I was like, Jesus Christ, lads. I mean, I thought the defence, apart from those scary moments, did okay. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there were some, and as you'd expect with Jamie Vardy, you'd expect him to get some chances, and he had hardly any. And no mistakes from Brandon Williams. He's had a hard time recently. I think some pretty poor performances. Did okay today.
Better today, and I thought he showed a lot of intent as well going forward.
Yeah.
There was some bursting
he's got
runs.
that. We know that he's a better attacking player than Luke Shaw for sure, and he's just had one of those dips that very young players with very little experience have. He'll be stronger for it next season.
No football for months on end, and came back and thrown into the deep end and all that stuff. It's just not easy. I mean, we saw United's performances pick up massively over those first couple of games. As players start to, and we saw Rashford hit a nice little peak of form, and then tail off again as probably a bit of the fatigue settled. There's the injury recovery, finding your feet again, and then there's the fatigue kind of drop. And, you said it earlier in the show, and we'll talk in the second half of the show a lot about, next season, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Europa League tournament that's coming up as well, because next season doesn't started yet. The season isn't finished. It's just getting started, baby. Trophies are
just gonna get better.
But they held on, and then Jesse Lingard came on for Greenwood, which I thought was absolutely the right sub, by the way, at the time. Because I think he was the best option on the bench for breaking up attacks, counter-attacks, and pressuring their defenders into making mistakes.
I wonder whether... it's worked out fine. United obviously carry much a greater goal threat if Greenwood's in there. He wasn't today. He didn't have a good game. I just wondered at the time whether Lingard for Fernandes might not have been the call to make at that time. Because in the end, he went McTominay for Fernandes like 10 minutes later or something. But...
I liked the sub because Bruno presses and wins the ball back a lot as well, and puts in tackles in midfield as well a lot. I just thought it made us a more robust unit at a time in the game where we couldn't afford to sit back. But I don't think Lingard coming on for Greenwood doesn't necessarily force the whole team back in the way that some of the different permutations might have done. Like if you brought on McTominay for Fernandes at that point, the whole team drops back. But actually, Lingard's playing high up the pitch, pressing, and that's what the goal came from, was that thing that he does. I mean, that's not the first time he scored a goal from being given a gift from being a nuisance around that area of the pitch. So, yeah, I was quite pro that sub, and it worked out nicely.
All right, I didn't see any of the players dancing around as the final whistle went. No open bus in Salford. No, it's good. It's a job just about done, and I'm sure Ollie will know that this was, although it's been a remarkable turnaround for United, this was really the only thing that can happen for United. He couldn't accept another season in the Europa League. I mean, the club's finances couldn't accept it. The expectation is about, as I said last time out, 100 to 120 million.
You say you said this last time out. This is what we've had
every time. No, but it's the context for how big this game is for United. Massive. I mean, and then there's the broadcast rights, the gate receipts, if there are any gate receipts. I mean, it's about £5 million a game.
1,000 people at the Oval today in the cricket.
Yeah. 1,000 people at the Oval is very different from a full house at Old Trafford, but we're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. And the prize money is massive in the 2.7 million for each victory in the Champions League, up to 60. I mean, imagine United do okay and make the quarterfinals. It's probably a £75 million tournament for United, so Absolutely. That's why it's so big. It's the difference between Ole being able to make the changes we know he needs to and not.
Exactly. I mean, this is this was the biggest moment for the club since the Europa League final under Mourinho, and what we have to really seriously hope, and I think there is some chance that it's more likely that we don't blow the opportunity in the same way we did. And I don't think Ole is going to have the same problems that Mourinho has, that there are all sorts of question marks about Ole after this season. But if you had said before the season you're going to get to the FA Cup final, the League Cup semi-final, come third in the league.
Semi-final, Paul. Semi-final.
Did I?
FA Cup semi-final. You said final.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, FA Cup semi-final, League Cup semi-final, and come third. And then who knows with the Europa, but well, obviously if you just said they come third in the league, you go, that would be really nice, thank you. That'd be amazing.
For sure. It's turned out great. I mean, I do worry that the powers that be United will go, oh, okay, then we probably don't need to invest as much as we thought we might need to in order to stack up our business model, which is not competing with City for next season's title after Liverpool implode.
Yeah, or explode. Did the fireworks mean to go off early?
I don't think so. Someone blew their wad pretty sharpish there.
The reality of finishing third, sadly though, just because of those stupid games against Southampton and West Ham, we didn't win the Clausura. I'm absolutely gutted. We lost the Clausura on goal difference to Manchester City. It's 2012 all over again.
You see, there's a great anecdote, isn't there, about what Ferguson said in the dressing room after 2012, right? He said that apparently, so it goes. He said, "Don't feel sorry for yourselves. This is why I always tell you to attack one goal." And okay, yeah. And it's fair enough. Fine margins and. One half of football where United were comfortably winning in that season and eased up. I can't think of a game, but there probably was one.
There's numerous games in that season where things had gone slightly different anyway.
Yeah, no, I know.
But yeah, it was not close, the goal difference, because they kept beating everyone 5-0 when they won games.
That's true. I mean, it's a shame we'll only be able to claim one trophy this season as we storm to the Europa League.
I mean, should we take a little... I mean, anything else you want to say about this game? I think I have to say, having felt that the team was unbelievably nervous and having really had serious doubts about their ability to handle their nerves, I think they actually did really well to not make big, huge, massive mistakes, for the most part, to mean, for Bruno to score the pen, there was a lot of nervy moments that they got through, and you got to give them credit for that, given how much they'd been hammered if they hadn't done it.
Yes, definitely not a great performance. Did enough. The moments mattered for United. Didn't make any really huge mistakes. I mean, moments, but Leicester didn't create enough. And it's unfortunate for them. They've got 3 key defenders out and Maddison out. I mean, for sure, there's Pereira, Chilwell, Soyuncu being out of that defence makes a big difference. I mean, if we'd had 3 of our back 4 out, that'd have been interesting. Phil Jones and Eric Bailly. Double act at the back. Yeah. So, yes, just about enough. Anyway, let's take a break and we'll talk about what's to come next.
If you want more from the show in between shows, check us out on the socials. We are NQAT Pod on Instagram, Ed's at NQAT Pod on Twitter, and we are under our real names on Facebook at No Question About That. So should we do a little bit on the sort of medium term and then talk about the Europa?
All right.
We finished third. This is the only... We haven't done Twitter questions at the back half of this season, just mostly for logistics reasons. But the number one Twitter question we would have got, of course, if we had been doing them, and honestly, this is a significant part of the reason why we're not doing them.
What is Phil Jones' best position?
Yeah, exactly. It would have just all been Jadon Sancho all the time. Yeah, so this week, United linked, in inverted commas, to Kingsley Coman, in Kingsley Conman, more like, in the most obvious kind of like, oh, no, we're not that bothered about Jadon Sancho. We've totally got options. It's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, these are the 2 options that you're considering, these like-for-like alternatives. I mean, Kingsley Coman must be one of the most underwhelming players to have played for Bayern Munich, Juventus, and PSG. He's still got potential and he's had a lot of injury problems, but
Nicolas Gaitan moved this week. He's got a new club,
and it's not us.
No, it's not.
So are we getting Jadon Sancho, Ed? Now that this is,
I've no idea. But if I was Ed Woodward, and I'm not, you'll be shocked to hear, I would be pulling the trigger on that deal tomorrow. Yeah. Right. United will be in the Champions League. It's third. I mean, all 4 going to the group stages because of England's coefficient. But the pool will be bigger, quite significantly, actually. So United have that income. We don't have to worry about the Adidas deal collapsing for another 2 years now. In a much stronger position to negotiate the new shirt sponsor, which runs out at the end of next season. And the negotiations will be happening soon. It's not going to be... I can't even remember is it AIG? Who's our sponsor at the moment?
Chevrolet, sadly.
Chevrolet, God.
AIG, yeah.
AIG, that was ages ago. Chevrolet. It's not going to be Chevrolet.
Got super giddy about the fact that we finished third and imagined the time when we used to win the Champions League.
That's right. So Chevrolet sacked the guy who signed that deal, like weeks after he'd signed it. He'd apparently gone rogue, signing away £750 million or something like that. So anyway, United are going to be in a much stronger position. So, and of course Dortmund know that, but they're not in a strong financial position. So they may the sort of whispers coming out of Dortmund about playing hardball over this are just that. They are not in a strong financial position. He's their most saleable asset by far. Right now, and Bayern, having executed on the Leroy Sané deal, probably won't be coming to Dortmund's rescue and buying any of their players this summer. So United should be in a good negotiating position. Actually, the problem is that also means months and months and months of speculation before United sign Nicolas Gaitan on October the 11th.
If you had to just gut feeling, yes or no, you think Jadon Sancho wears the number 7 shirt at Man United next season? I think there's a good chance if United are willing to pony up their money. Yeah, basically, but it's still going to be a huge deal. Yeah, even if it's 80 plus bonuses rather than 100 plus bonuses or 120 or whatever it is. I mean, I think there's a different conversation to be had about whether that's the right one. I mean, we definitely need another forward, I think, given Daniel James's season, and it's where they see Mason.
Is he going to be challenging for the number 9 position or that wide position next season? Either way, Champions League, you need more options. But left back, centre back, goalkeeper, defensive midfielder. I mean, are they not even more of a priority than another forward?
Yeah, I'd say so. But I guess all the scuttlebutt for such a long time has been about Sancho, and he'd elevate our best level, wouldn't he? But I mean, they do say the numbers.
Elite players do, and he's a great player, and his numbers are huge.
But the numbers
consistently huge.
Yeah, the numbers more broadly do suggest that teams that address their weaknesses do better than teams that strengthen their strengths, don't they? So I'd love to see that kind of strategy from United, but given
we do 3 deals a summer, and let's just say we get the 3 right.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Of course, there was a lot of talk about the Bruno deal actually being brought forward from this summer. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's nonsense. All he's coming out of that budget, that may play into it. So is Ed Woodward going, right, check, 1 deal done super early?
Yeah.
He might be. And then there's a lot of fat in the squad that needs to be chopped out. I mean, Jesse scored today, has contributed almost nothing this season. Neither has Phil Jones. Smalling. Looks like they're going to do the deal with Roma for a permanent transfer. Rojo, they're going to send out on loan again because who's going to buy him unless, subsidise his wages and sale? I mean, maybe they will. Sanchez, he scored the other week. Maybe that's convinced him to actually pony up some cash.
That'd be unbelievable. But, I mean, that's a big question because there's 3 years left on that deal? Or 2?
God knows.
Can't remember when it happened. But, yeah, this is... so it happened in the... No, I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you. I mean, it was a January transfer, but it wasn't...
It was.
I don't know if it was 2017 or 2018. It seems like a long
18
time
months ago or two and a half
years. Could be either. It literally could be either. Time is entirely meaningless now, so it definitely happened before February of this year when time became meaningless.
So there's... although, of course, everyone's been haggling already, it's a 10-week transfer window, which is 2 fewer than normal, although there's the extra 2 weeks on the end for deals with the EFL if we're desperate and we need to purchase anyone from the EFL.
I mean, who's this season's Dan James? That's the key question. Anyone? So Bournemouth went down, Watford went down, and Norwich.
Yeah, Bournemouth who won on the final day.
Yeah,
unlucky for them, but Villa did just enough.
Yeah,
Watford did not.
No, they got beat. So
looking forward to your man D Welbs playing in the Championship.
No, I'm looking forward to him playing in the Champions League next season as our right-hand side striker alternative. Would he sign him up? Would he sign him up? Jack Grealish is the other player that United have been frequently linked to. Where would he play in United's first 11?
I think he's back up. I mean, he's played almost exclusively on the left side of Aston Villa's attack this season. But he looks like he should be playing at number 10. He obviously wouldn't be ahead of Bruno for that role, or I don't know if you trust him in central midfield. So he would be an alternative sort of utility forward, I guess. For United, I don't think he's getting in the team ahead of Marcus Rashford either. So is he going to play out on the right-hand side? I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those ones that you execute that deal if Villa had gone down and he was 25 million, not if they stayed up and he's 50 or 60 million.
Yeah, I mean, he's very popular among a lot of United fans. It's a question.
He's
another
a high-quality player,
asked.
but he's never proved it at any kind of level.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't had the chance to prove it at any kind of level, but, he's proved it at a level in the sense that he has played well against good Premier League teams, which I guess is something. But yeah, it's just not clear that he's a natural fit for our needs, really. Especially if we sign Sancho, the Grealish purchase at that point. Unless, I haven't seen that much of him, so I might misunderstand his abilities a bit, but it doesn't seem to me that you're putting him in the side playing Grealish, Pogba and Fernandes, are you, in the midfield, and Rashford, Greenwood and Martial up front, or two of them?
No, I don't think so. 7 goals, 6 assists in the league this season, which looks about right on XG as well. So, that's not a bad return for a relegation standard team. Maybe he gets double that in a really good side if he's good enough.
Yeah.
And who knows?
No.
Couldn't tell you.
And it seems to me that apart from the Kingsley Coman story, which broke this week, of course, which I would be for because he's a French forward, so I think we should always sign French forwards, although occasionally they do turn out to be David Bellion. Can't win them all. But I've not really seen us linked with any defensive players as big name. I mean, Nathan Ake, I think there's talk of him going to City.
It looks like it's done to City, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll try and offload Smalling, I mean, for sure, and Jones.
But then we need to buy centre-backs. I mean, Tuanzebe has had a disappointing season, hasn't he, with injury and stuff. But
yeah, so, and that's actually the story of a lot of his career. He's had a significant injury every single season for the last 4. Which would be a real worry in terms of his development. Fosu-Mensah, I'm sure he's off. I'm sure they'll if they can't find a buyer, they'll find a loan. I know he's made a squad for the last few weeks, but I'm an absolute shocker if he's in the squad next season. Eric Bailly, I mean, the lad just can't stay fit.
You keep him for sure, though, because if he's
you can sure. Otherwise, you'd have to buy 2 centre backs. So, I mean, it's a tough position.
But I haven't seen
United would do very well to buy one, though.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen names. I haven't seen us linked with anyone on a regular basis, and it does seem like we normally know who United are interested in by this point in the transfer. And I know it's an unusual season, but I'm not. It's not like we've heard Kondogbia's name mentioned a ton or something like that. I just no idea who United's targets are in that position, and I don't think they'll pull the trigger on a left back. I think they'll be happy to go into the season with Shaw and Williams, given their inability to do multiple deals and that they're not.
Yes, I don't, and Shaw, they both signed new long-term contracts, so I don't think it'll happen. I mean, an attacking left back I would like to see Brandon Williams really kick on.
Yeah.
That could be the solution.
Yeah.
It's funny, actually, after Williams had 2 bad games in a row, everyone's like, Luke Shaw, all is forgiven. We need him back. And it's true. Look, he's become a competent left back when he's fit, and which he's been more often than not this season. But he's only competent.
Yeah, and I mean, he might improve as well. I mean, I don't think it's impossible. I don't mean like, obviously he's at his big age, but he's not. It's not impossible that he has like good runs of form throughout periods next season. I mean, we've talked so much about the defensive midfield thing. I don't know where a defensive midfield. They've just given Nemanja Matic that big contract.
I don't think it'll happen. I really desperately think it
should.
I think it's. Sorry, I'm not desperate to think that it's needed. It's desperately needed.
Yeah.
I think he's a real problem, and I know he can be eye-catching when he's on the ball, but the defensive side of his game's not good.
Well, I mean, he did some good defensive work today as well. Like as I've said a number of times, whenever we have this conversation, I think he's very good defending 1v1. Like, I think he's not bad at all defending 1v1. I think he's, in a limited sense, he's very good at body shape and position and getting the ball off another player if they're right next to each other. I think he does that really well. But, we know it's an issue. But it's not, I just can't see how that gets sorted given that they've just spent all that money,
Yeah, no, I'm sure it won't. Central defenders, I don't know. I mean, I assume that Upamecano from Red Bull Leipzig will be on the move this summer. I'm sure. Very, very good defender. It would be huge money, but, who isn't? There was some talk before of Arsenal wanting him, which had me somewhat suspicious about his quality. I've seen him a few times, but not enough to go, yeah, I'm sure about this one. Defensive midfielders, I don't know. I mean, you take Ndidi in a heartbeat, wouldn't you? I mean, an absolute bastard in midfield.
Yeah, he's going to cost like absolutely full whack from Leicester.
Yeah, because Leicester don't need the money, and that's why negotiating with them is hard work. Anyway, we'll see.
It's going to be interesting how much of their squad they keep together, given that they didn't get Champions League football, and whether that has an impact. But
does it have an impact? I don't know. I mean, most of them are there. They can't be there expecting to be in the Champions League every season.
No, that's true.
I mean, maybe they're there as a stepping stone, maybe.
Yeah.
And Leicester will sell one a season normally.
Yeah.
So.
maybe it'll be indeedy to us. That's a bit of transfer chat done. We're duty bound and morally obligated to talk transfers at least once a season.
We've got until October the 12th to talk transfers.
Yeah.
God, it's going to be painful, isn't it?
It is. The worst thing
Should we talk about something else that's painful? The Europa League.
It's not painful this time, baby. The Europa League's back and it's better than ever.
It's a free hit.
If this
Love
was
it.
always the Europa League, we were already in the Champions League the next season, and it was just like a inject football into my eyes summer tournament every year. The Europa League would be great. So, yeah, I'm buzzing for this. I really hope we don't throw away our 5-0 lead over LASK.
So we have a game against LASK on the 5th of August at Old Trafford. I'm assuming. I mean, I wonder whether Ollie would just be tempted to even give some of these players some actual literal time off. Go to the spa, go somewhere you're allowed to go, and that's not a threat of having a 14-day quarantine. I don't know what the bubble is supposed to be with them, whether they're not even allowed to do that. Either way, Bruno shouldn't be playing again till the quarterfinal or semi-final of that tournament. Basically,
yeah. So
he very much looks like he's not used to playing 8 games in 24 days.
It's the 26th of July as we record this. The LASK game is on the 5th of August,
right,
and
yes.
then the first quarterfinal is on the 10th of August. That LASK game, we will play 3 of the players that started this game.
You'd expect there to be complete changes. I mean, even if United played the under-23s, we're not going to ship 6 goals, surely.
You wouldn't have thought so, no. I mean, one thing, talking of games played, worth noting that Shamoun Hafiz from the BBC tweeted that with the lineup that was announced today, Harry Maguire started every single Premier League game for Man United, the first player to do that since Gary Pallister. Absolutely remarkable. And, he's had a fascinating season, Maguire. I mean, he's getting hammered by, cool young football Twitter. They hate him. And
I can see why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he has had a mixed season. I think he started ropey. I think he grew into the role, that little period where he was given the captaincy, and then the kind of the pre-corona decent run of form. I thought he played well throughout that period. And then he's been
Laurie
mixed
Whitwell
since.
wrote a piece on the Athletic last week, saying that he had that hip injury and he was playing through with painkillers, which we said every bloody week for about a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seemed very obvious at the time, didn't it? So,
Yeah.
And I think that contributed to some of his sort of performance dip at the time. I think he's had a very mixed season. It's not obvious to me that he's had a significantly better season than Victor Lindelof alongside him. I mean, really. He's not contributed loads of goals. He has made mistakes, both the very obvious ones and also positional ones. He is decent on the ball, but he's not great. He's not Franco Baresi, is he? So, I mean, Victor was 30 million, Maguire was 80 million. I don't know that we're getting there. And, I know it's just not. One from Benfica, one from Leicester. That's why there's the massive premium. I just think he needs to up his game a level, and the Champions League will find him out really quickly. I think if he isn't able to do that, and it may be that if United got a really good defender alongside him, that it would help up his game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no doubt about that. I mean, one of the things that he always gets compared to Van Dijk, because Van Dijk came in for 75 million at Liverpool and had an absolutely transformational effect on their defence. But he did come in at the same time as Alisson, right? Van Dijk, or half a season after, or something like that. It was around the same time, maybe in the same window.
The same time.
And so it wasn't just Van Dijk alone that transformed Liverpool's defence, although he obviously made a massive difference and is an absolutely excellent player, and definitely you'd go, oh yeah, well, he was absolutely worth the money for the contribution, So I don't know, but anyway, it's really, the price is whatever. It's does he make United better? He's definitely made United better this season. You say he's not had an obviously better season than Lindelof. I think there are people that would definitely argue Lindelof's been more at fault for more goals and stuff, whatever. one thing's for sure, he's had a better season than Smalling or Jones would have done. I mean, Smalling has had one season at United, which I would say was better than Maguire's season this season, but they both would have been injured for half the season, and and also
of course, look, absolutely, he upgraded United's defence's options, and the fact that he's played 38 games is testament to the fact that he will not get injured, or if he does get injured, well, he's quite prepared to risk him through painkilling injections. So, for sure, I just don't think he hasn't been transformational.
No.
Although United's defensive record is pretty good this season.
Yeah, it's
obviously needs
fascinating.
to, and yeah, it is. It just doesn't feel like it should be, given that Dave is. Well, he was, when I looked it up in terms of his post-shot expected goals against, sorry for everyone who hates me when we start talking like this, he's second bottom of the table, right? So this is a measure of shot-stopping ability. It's not a measure of crosses claimed or command of area or communication or distribution or any of those other things that matter for a modern goalkeeper. It's just one thing. That used to be where the hair was like plus 10 XG. I mean, he had that one season where he's like plus 14 XG. And here he is not at all. Not even near.
One of the things that's fascinating about United's defensive record this season is you look at the season as a whole, and it almost feels like a lot of it was defined by weird defensive lapses and stuff. So you're expecting to look at the expected goals against and see that actually we've massively outperformed those, not necessarily because of Dave, but because of striker profligacy or whatever. But we've conceded 36 goals to 38 goals of XG. That's basically the same in a statistical model. That is the same, and that is including the penalties. That's 38 goals of XG against, including penalties. So,
well, a penalty's a gimme for the opposition. Dave hasn't saved one for 4 years.
But that it's just it's a very weird thing, and I wonder. Scott McTominay had a big role in that, in my opinion, for large periods of the season, and I do think our defence looked better organised with him in front of it. I feel like that's a point we made a lot on the show.
I fully agree. Yeah, he doesn't have the passing range of Matic and the leadership skills of Matic yet, apparently. We'll see.
Yeah. So, it's been an absolutely fascinating league season. I mean, it was so bleak around October when we were 14th in the league, because we deserved to be 14th in the league, and things a little bit improved on that. And then Bruno came along and really provided some impetus. And then, I mean, I do think it's very interesting for sure, without Pogba and Rashford coming back for that last period of the season, I don't think we finished third. So, it was very fortunate for United's position in the league this season that there was an extended break. And I also can't help wondering what that run of really good performances and really good games would have looked like if there were crowds. Because it did look like they were playing with the freedom of Old Trafford. They were playing with complete confidence in their abilities and freedom to try things and all that stuff. And I wonder whether having crowds there would actually have negatively impacted on some of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Old Trafford, I'd say quite often gets on players' back, or you can. Well, no, I mean that's not quite right. You can sense the tension at Old Trafford, can't you? The nights where Old Trafford is really rocking, which there still are, but they're a few a season, not a lot a season.
Yeah.
But a lot of that's about where United are as a club right now. I think the lockdown and the break came at a perfect time for United. I mean, Rashford, he hasn't had a brilliant time post-lockdown. I mean, he's had
amazing moments and rough ones.
Amazing moments, but yeah, a lot of games where he's not really able to get into it. I guess that's understandable. Pogba's played a really interesting role, much deeper role. He's had some very good games, some not so good games, but no terrible games, I'd argue.
All the not so good games for everyone right at the back end, like that last couple of weeks, really. That extended stretch of high quality play and just brilliant goals. I mean, even in the bad run, there was a bunch of high quality goals. Today in the semi-final against Chelsea, really the only 2 days when there weren't wonder goals in everything since lockdown. Tottenham, who topped and tailed it with no wonder goals in terms of league games. Every other one had absolutely amazing goals in it, which was delightful. So the Europa League, this was an attempt at a Europa League preview. Who's left in it? What might we face?
So in our side of the draw is United versus LASK first, and Istanbul versus Copenhagen. That will play for one semi-final spot, those four. And then there's Olympiacos, Wolves, Roma, Sevilla, Inter, Getafe, Rangers, Leverkusen play for on the other side of things.
Right.
And then the other one is not on our side. I think it's on. So I think Olympiacos, Wolves, Roma, Sevilla is on our side. So we'll face one of those four in the semi-final. And then there's Inter, Getafe, Rangers, Leverkusen, Wolfsburg, Donetsk, and Frankfurt Basel for the other semi-final.
Yeah, because there's loads more teams on that side because there's more of them that didn't finish their second leg or something. Right. So we've got the game against LASK, which we can reasonably assume is going to be okay. 5 away goals going into that one. I don't know whether away goals will be considered, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. And then we come on to the quarterfinal on the 10th, and then the games start to come.
We laugh on the other side of your face when we lose 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, it could happen. I mean, I don't know if it could happen.
I can't tell you anything about Istanbul.
No.
Or Copenhagen. This is the third Istanbul team, isn't it?
Well,
right?
The thing is, this is one of the things that I do know about Turkish football, which is that you assume you're not playing Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, or the other one, that they're all going to be bad, but that's not the case anymore. Like, the Turkish league's gone completely crazy, and all Besiktas is the other one that I was thinking of. All the big boys are bad now for some reason. So in the Turkish league right now, in the league table, Istanbul...
They lost today.
Istanbul are top of the league, though.
Right.
Followed by Trabzonspor and then Besiktas. Galatasaray are 6th and Fenerbahce are 7th. So those old...
All change in Turkey.
Yeah. So the Supers...
Who's Erdogan's team? Just asking.
I think it might be Istanbul Basaksehir. If you ever tweet about Turkish football, it's a very dangerous game. But hopefully saying it on a podcast, there's not the same level of algorithmic relentlessness among the fan base.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I can't make an informed decision about this one because I've seen neither side play. But you'd expect, just in terms of the league coefficients
standings
and stuff, that United should be significantly better, and this is a very good path through to a semi-final. Of which would be a tough semi-final. Olympiacos Wolves, I think I'm right in saying, is 1-1 going into that second game at Molineux.
So
Roma Sevilla didn't play at all. They're playing a one-off game. Wow. Sevilla, I think they finished 4th in Spain this season, if I'm right in saying, 4th or 5th. So, a decent side. I think Roma are about the same position in Serie A as well. So, both decent sides for a one-off game, for sure.
They are the Europa League teams in their relative leagues, aren't they? That's kind of what they are.
Can Smalling play against us?
I suspect not. Maybe if we've sold him by that point to them, then maybe he could.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So the quarterfinal's on the 10th, and then the semi is on the 16th, and then the final's on the 21st. So not an insane schedule. One-off game, obviously.
And they're all being played in Germany, if I'm right in saying.
Right.
Around the sort of Ruhr Valley in Schalke and...
okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really
and the Champions League tournament's in Lisbon. I think I'm right in saying that.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be real fun to just have loads and loads and loads of football on all the time again. There's a lot of games on the same days, so we're not quite got I don't think we've quite got the kind of 7 days a week football that we've been used to over the last few weeks, and would expect in a kind of World Cup year or a Euros year, as this would have been.
We'll still get sort of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever, or maybe it's not even
next week, Ed. Next season, our podcast. We're not going to have to record it at 10 o'clock on a Thursday night every week.
That'd be 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. Well, no, because show comes out Friday, bro. The show's chill. Show comes out Friday. It's all good. Glorious.
I'm just glad to be not talking about, playing third place from the Kazakhstani league on a Thursday night at 4 p.m.
Yeah, no more 4 p.m s. I think there's still some 6 p.m s in the Champions League now, but no more 4 p.m s. Oh, glorious. Let's see if we can limp through the group stages after a really miserable summer. I mean, who knows? Who knows what next season will bring? I certainly can't go into it bullish thinking, we're going to massively close the gap on the teams in second and first in the league. But I am absolutely...
No, and in fact, if we're looking over our shoulder at Chelsea, as we've talked about, it looks like the Havertz deal is going to happen. So it's 3 very high-quality forwards. They still can't defend for Toffee.
Finished above him.
We could be looking over our shoulder.
Finished above him in the league, though, didn't we?
We did, yeah. But it is definitely a big summer for United. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Europa League mini tournament because I'd like United to win.
Sure.
Obviously, because a trophy is a trophy, and it's good for the club. And it's not an insane schedule, and the draw's been favourable. I mean, United could win this tournament.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they're going to have a break, and they should be going into it with an unbelievable amount of confidence because, we started the Clausura talking about how... I remember after the Tottenham game, I said, after that half, I said, well, at least there's a load of positives, and you said positives are fine, but there's a real urgent need for points. Now, we have been massively helped by the sheer number of points that Leicester and Chelsea have both dropped in this run. And especially the fact that we've overhauled Leicester is to the extent that we have. They've finished 2 places below us in the league. That is absolutely remarkable given where we were. But we had to do the business. And yet we've run out of steam. Yet there's real problems with the fact that there's no depth beyond the first 11. Yet there's problems with the fact that Solskjaer didn't use his squad enough, even with the limitations of trust that he placed in them. Yes, there's problems that a few games he should have done something to change the game in the course of the games, but also made a bunch of really good substitutions, got the team playing really well for extended periods of that time. And, only one team has, no team's got more points than us in this run, and only one team's got a better goal difference than us in this run. So, I'm
amazing.
Looking
forward to Ollie picking the same team for 30 games in a row at the beginning of next season and everyone being injured afterwards.
Yeah,
So. No. Look, all your points are completely fair and valid, and, it is my glass half full head on that says, we've got some big problems here, even though that turnaround has been awesome.
I don't think you know what glass half full means.
It's half empty. Half empty.
No,
empty.
And by the way, this is absolutely correct. It's absolutely correct that we've got some big problems. And for now, kick back, feet up, Champions League and Europa League as kind of interested spectators, hoping United win a trophy, GGMU and all that sort of thing. But the main job is done, and I for one am absolutely delighted that we're going to be in the Champions League this season, and I'm delighted that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Man United have finished 3rd in the league. If you had told us that, I know I said this earlier, if you told us that at the beginning of the season, how many United fans wouldn't have absolutely bitten your hand off for 3rd in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you want to win the Champions League then this season?
Who's left in it?
Juve, Lyon 1-0 up from the first leg. City, Real Madrid. City 2-1 up on Real Madrid. Bayern, Chelsea. Bayern 3-0 up. Barcelona, Napoli 1-1.
I guess I want Napoli to win it. Doesn't seem very likely, but ABC, right? Anyone but City, I think is the position.
Or Chelsea or Real Madrid.
I don't care that much if Chelsea win it, and I definitely don't care that much if Real Madrid win it because they're managed by Zinedine Zidane. So I'm constitutionally obliged.
Boo! I know, no, not having that. No.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't care that much.
No.
Until next season, then I care.
Yeah, absolutely. I would. It wouldn't be. I don't care if City win it. Honestly, personally, I don't care that much. But I'll annoy so many United fans that I know that I'd rather they didn't win it for that reason alone. And of course, because so long as City on PSG don't win it, that's, it'd be funny, it'd be weirdly hilarious if Barcelona, who are currently significantly imploding, won it. I don't know if I'm sure you...
Atalanta, PSG and Leipzig Atletico were the other games in the Champions League, which I completely forgot.
Oh yeah, because I think some of those are not... There's some teams that
some
are
of them
through to
weren't
the next
completed.
round.
They were the completed game, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very exciting to watch it. I guess I'd like Atalanta or Napoli to win it. There you go. That's my take on it. Someone's now going to message me saying, well, actually, these are the reasons why these clubs are massively problematic, because nice things don't exist anymore. But anyway. But one nice thing does exist, and that is our backers. And if you stay tuned, you'll hear a bunch of chat about football away from United. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Hooray, United. We did it. We finished third in the league, everyone. Absolute scenes.
Off to get on our open bus
yeah, exactly.
tour.
Yeah.
My little one's got one of them, so I'll drive around the living room with one of those on. Mini trophy.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, we really appreciate your support across the season. It's been lovely, we'll keep doing these. We are taking a little bit of time off. We're going to be back after the LASK game to talk about what happened in that game and do a bit more of preview stuff for the Europa League. We might even look at some of the players that play for our potential quarterfinal opponents. So we'll see you on the Friday before. I think the 10th is a Sunday, or a Monday, in fact. So we'll see you on the Friday before that with another show.
All right, looking forward to that. Now we'll play in Cologne. Quarterfinal, Cologne semi-final.
Lovely.
And the finals at Schalke. Yeah.
All right. See you soon, everyone. Take care.
All
Till
right,
then.
see you. Bye now.
No question about that.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.